Our culture is a funny thing. We spend countless hours figuring out what to wear and what the newest technology is that came out, or what other people think about us, but in reality it's all that we're exposed to. And it's not anyone's blame, it's not their fault, but there's more to realizing what's beyond our culture, and there's something bigger out there that we need to be a part of.
There are so many people in this world, and they're hurting, they're struggling, they're just trying to survive. They're just getting by, and it's not just here in America, but it's all over the world. China, Africa, Asia, all those places, and we're gonna do what we can as this band to really reach out, not just here on our home turf, but also abroad. The Cause of Salvation as a band, we're not just about playing music and, you know, getting down at shows and stuff like that. Like, behind like the music we write, there is a purpose for that, but we're also down here not just to entertain, but we're really out here to reach other people and make an impact on the world as a whole. Like I was saying, not just here on our home turf, but really get our message out, and whatever we can do, whether it's putting out a compilation or something like that, or you know, actually physically and going to maybe down to TJ or something, like, we're here to do something bigger, and that's kind of our mission.
In the summer of 2007, I had the chance to go to Lira, Uganda in Central Africa, and before that I began to understand the horrible conditions that were in that country and in that area through a documentary by Invisible Children, and little did I know what was actually going on beyond the little bubble of a culture that I was so used to here in America. And that documentary began to change my life and make me have a real passion for going out beyond what's just here in America and use whatever talents and gifts I can to make a difference. I will never forget the camp called Barlonio that I went to. This camp was one of the worst victims of the terrorist attacks by a group called the Lord's Resistance Army in the history of Africa. As soon as we drove into the camp, there was a sign that told us about the attack and said that there was over 500 people murdered in one night, and I could not believe how devastating it was. And people were tortured, they were shot, kids were abducted from their families, and it was all in the past, and all I could do was sit there and look at the sign and take in everything that had happened. And when I stood in the camp and I saw the mass grave for the first time, where the 500 men, women, and children had been buried, my soul gave way, and I realized how devastating it truly was in that country. But I realized the people in Barlonio had far more joy than I had ever experienced in my life. That these men, women, and children would dance and play soccer and have time together as a family sitting on these mass graves. And I would just have to stop and look and realize that my world is so different from their world, and that time in that camp, I would see them running around smiling the entire time that we were there, and they knew what it was like to be alive, and I was just beginning to learn what that was like.
The Cause of Salvation is partnering with Invisible Children as part of their Music Coalition program. We are proud to make a difference and impact the lives of Ugandans around the world. Join us at our next San Diego show on December 9th and come support the work of Invisible Children. We want to see change and we want you to be a part of what we believe.